What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check updates, and daily news. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to subscribe right now so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. You guys are amazing. We got a lot to talk about here, so let's jump right in. The IRS says the average refund this year so far for Americans is $2,201. Yeah, $2,201. And the IRS says that they have now processed more than 13 million tax returns for this year, now in 2022. Now, mostly these tax returns that they have sent out are the automated kind that their systems are automatically processing. So I have seen a lot of comments here in the comment section of people that have already got their 2022 refunds back from the 2021 tax season. Okay. So I've actually, believe it or not, seen some people that said they got their tax refunds back in 2 or 3 weeks. This is despite as you can see here, the tax backlog, that there is 24 million returns that of a backlog from last year, and some even from 2020. So this is putting a hamper or a huge delay on a lot of the process. And the IRS has an employee shortage. The problem is that their hiring process and their rates. They want to hire employees for as little as $12 an hour, and a lot of people just don't want to work at the IRS for $12 an hour when you can sometimes get a job at McDonald's or Walmart for more than that. So that's a little bit of a problem. But this IRS backlog of 24 million returns, the way you get put into that backlog and the way you can actually get processed for 13 million returns, so you can actually get your refund here of $2,201 on average. Remember, that's an average. Everybody's refund is different. Some people might get no refund. Some people might get more than that. Some people might get less than that. The way you might get processed for your refund quickly is have no errors on your tax return. If you file your taxes, whether you do it, through TurboTax or through a local accountant or do it yourself online or mail it in, if you do it, online, you do it through one of the softwares, you can get it direct deposited back to you, and it goes a little bit quicker. But if you have no errors, that is where you can get it done faster. But if you have any errors on your tax return, that is where you can get put into that infamous 24 million backlog. Think about 24 million people waiting for their refunds. Yeah, now that error refund pile, that has to be manually checked in a lot of cases by a human, one by one, and well, that's the pile that takes many months. Yeah, and then that's where you hear the horror stories of people saying, I've been waiting for my tax refund for over a year. Yeah, and that's where a lot of people say the IRS needs to hire more people, but that's a whole big issue, right? That's a whole big issue. Now, remember, in the Build Back Better stimulus package, they wanted to hire 80,000 IRS agents, but remember, they haven't been able to pass that yet. Now, that's a double-edged sword when you go to hire more agents because, well, when you hire more agents, along with it will come more audits. If you don't personally end up getting audited, or anybody of your family, I guess it's not really a bad deal for you, but they do want to audit more people if that happens. So keep that in mind. But if it processes your tax returns faster, if you have to call the IRS and not wait on the phone for an hour, you get through faster. Or if you ever had to call the IRS, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Sometimes you call the IRS, you wait on the phone for an hour, and sometimes the automated system will literally hang up on you, and then you have to go through the whole process again. I know, you can't make this stuff up. It's a nightmare, right? Also remember with the child tax credits that were expanded from last year, if you got the monthly payments, you're still due $1,500 per child for children above age 6 through 17 and $1,800 for children below age 6. Also, you have to file a tax return to claim that. Okay, if you're normally a non-filer, you're going to need to file a tax return for 2021 to claim that money, and you have to actually go through your tax return and claim the money on your tax return. You have to go through the section where you claim the child tax credit, and if you're using a TurboTax or anything like that, they can help you with that, or your accountant or whoever, whatever section or whatever your tax filing form you're using or system you're using. Okay. Also, I want to say that if you have a child over the age of 18 that's in college full time and living at home, you can get a one-time $500 tax credit for the adult child as well. Okay. If they extend the child tax credits this year, remember they haven't sent out the monthly payments for January and February, and they're saying that already, according to a study at Columbia University, child poverty has risen by 40% already. I know, it's very sad for me to have to report that. Hopefully Congress can figure out a way to do this here soon. But if they can figure this out, they will start the monthly payments again. And the White House has said there could be double payments coming as well. Okay. But a lot of these increased tax returns have to do with this as well. Some people also did not take the monthly payments, so they're going to get the full $3,000 to $3,600 on their tax refunds per child. So keep that in mind, that some people are due really big refunds because of that. Now remember that if they can't pass it this year, it's likely that the child tax credits will go back down to $2,000 per child instead of $3,000 to $3,600 per child. But it may actually exclude millions and millions of people, because the last stimulus package, the third stimulus check package, the American Rescue Plan, actually increased the eligibility for millions of people. So we'll have to see what happens this year. I will keep you up to date on this, as well as everything stimulus related, for seniors, for low income, for everybody, student loan debt relief, everything we talk about here. We have a lot of different states issuing state stimulus check proposals, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance here almost on a weekly basis. If you've been watching my show, there has just been a lot of news here on that. We have multiple different states issuing and proposing, and a lot of different states here have a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars, and are proposing or actually issuing stimulus checks here for the year of 2022. So I'm going to keep you up to date here on everything having to do with stimulus checks, stimulus programs, as well as what's going on here in our country. The IRS also says they're going to activate second surge teams. That's right. Imagine a surge team like coming into your office or coming into IRS office, like running in like surge protective uniforms, right? To handle the millions of backlogged tax returns. Yeah. In fact, this kind of makes me think of a story here that actually happened to us. This is a very kind of, I don't even know the word, I guess, crazy story. But when my wife was giving birth to our son, Julian, who's 3.5 here, he'll be turning 4 at the end of April, she had complications and almost died when she gave birth. Her blood pressure was like over 200, it was like 200 over 150-ish. I had to ask my wife here for a second because it slipped my mind what it was called. It was called preeclampsia. Preeclampsia. So it sent her blood pressure over 200 over 150. Was somewhere in that range. I think it was a little bit higher than that when she gave birth. And they had to put her on magnesium right at the end there and afterwards. And it actually kind of disabled her. I can't make this stuff up. For about 24 hours afterwards as well. She literally couldn't get out of the bed. She couldn't walk, couldn't move. She was in this bed and couldn't get out of it. Was literally disabled. I don't think there's another word for it. She couldn't walk, couldn't move. It just had her just immobilized. And yeah, so it was a frightening situation. But when she gave birth, or like for about 5 minutes before, they kind of sent in a surge team. Again, there's no other word for it. And they sent in about 10 people in like kind of like hazmat suits, like full blown, like what I would call a hazmat suit minus the head covering, and what I would call a surge team. I don't know what you would call this, right? But literally like about 10 people came in as she was getting ready to give birth, and they were prepared for anything to go wrong, for her to die per se, because of how sticky the situation was. And everything went good. Julian came out good. She came out good. And this is kind of modern medicine for us. I mean, honestly, if this had happened 100 years ago, things probably wouldn't have gone the same way that they did without modern medicine. So thank God for modern medicine, and thank God everything went the way it did, right? But the bill for that was over $10,000 just for that surge team. Now, of course, we had insurance, so I didn't have to pay the $10,000 just for that. I think the bill just for the hospital stay and the delivery was over $40,000. Yeah, again, we had insurance, so I didn't have to actually pay $40,000. But that just goes to show you how incredibly expensive insurance is. And if somebody didn't have insurance, they get stuck with a $40,000 bill. And medical bills, I don't believe you can file bankruptcy on. Yeah, it's just those are and that's the problem with our healthcare system and our medical system, is that they're just extremely expensive. Now, don't get me wrong, they're life-saving things, but it's just a crazy story. But yeah, I thought I'd share that with you about a surge team that literally happened in our life. So thank God for them, because they were there to literally save my wife's life and my son's life. Vice President Kamala Harris warns of unprecedented sanctions on Russia if it invades Ukraine here this morning. Check this out.
Let me be clear. I can say with absolute certainty, if Russia further invades Ukraine, the United States, together with our allies and partners, will impose significant and unprecedented economic costs.
Also, now the G7 countries are calling on Russia to choose diplomacy and substantially reduce their troops. The 7 countries in the G7 are Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In a statement, they say they remain gravely concerned about Russia's threatening military buildup around Ukraine in illegally annexed Crimea and Belarus. Quote, we call on Russia to choose the path of diplomacy and de-escalate tensions, to substantially withdraw military forces from the proximity of Ukraine's borders, and to fully abide by international commitments, including on risk reduction and transparency of military activities. The foreign ministers said they were willing to engage with Russia through diplomacy, but reiterated that Russia would face swift action should it take further military action against Ukraine. The nations also reiterated their support for Ukrainian sovereignty in light of the heightened Russia aggression. The G7 countries also called on Russia to follow the terms of the Minsk agreements, which Russia did sign onto back in 2015, which ended fighting between Russia-backed separatists and Ukrainian forces following an international effort agreed to in 2015. Quote, Russia must de-escalate and fulfill its commitments in implementing the Minsk agreements. The increase in ceasefire violations along the line of contact in recent days is highly concerning, they added. We condemn the use of heavy weaponry and indiscriminate shelling of civilian areas, which constitute a clear violation of the Minsk agreements. Speaking of, look who we got here as a special guest.
Hi, I'm Julian.
Hi, Julian. Who do you got here with you today?
Yeah, baby. Mickey Mouse Funhouse.
Your Mickey Mouse Funhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, show him your light up, baby.
In the moon and baby.
So I'm going to be turning 41 here on February 23rd. And I had one of these when I was a baby. So that shows you how old they are. We got one for Julian because of nostalgia. And tell everybody, do you sleep with this light up baby at night?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you use it to light up the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use it to light up the room last night.
Yeah. And what did you do? What did you do last night when you thought there were monsters in the room?
I asked help.
Remember you called for Daddy, and then what did Daddy say?
There's no monsters.
That's right. Daddy said there's no monsters, and then what did you say? I said, have you ever seen a monster in real life?
No.
And what did you say?
No.
And then you said, oh.
Monsters are real.
That's right. Monsters aren't real. Unless they work in Congress, right? Say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Say make sure to subscribe down below and help us reach 400,000 subscribers for my birthday.
Poo, 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 poo.
You gotta see poop every time we film, huh?
Yeah.
Say click here to watch my next video.
I will do it. Click here to watch the next video.
And say we'll see you in the next video.
We'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.